Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Mightier 1090. Pete Gray here, Rock God Rick Maxa, and this is it, the Christmas Spectacular, our annual event. Captain Mark Wisch from Pacific Edge is here, having a great time. Before we get on, I want to wish a big happy birthday to my lovely wife, Lolly. Happy birthday, Lolly.
Happy birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, happy birthday, Lolly.
Happy birthday, Lolly. That's awesome.
Love you, and have a great day for sure, Lolly, and have a good time. And this we got to go over it. So, Christmas Spectacular. The basic rules are: it's the best take. We have phone calls, we have texts, we have one great prize for the text, we have 5 great prizes for the phone calls. We've had some fantastic things. Keep it short, keep it fun, keep it exciting, great tips, great poems, great. We've had a lot of good stuff, so you've heard what's going on there. Christian's man in the phones, be kind to him. He's doing a great job. We've had record numbers.
That was an amazing number.
Apparently the engineer at Sports Grids there said we've had well over 1,000 phone calls already.
1,000 that bounced back.
That didn't get through.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Keep on trying, guys, and thank you for the efforts too. We appreciate that. So, and then of course the text. Make sure you have to include your phone and your name, and again keep it short so we can read it. So, and what are the prizes?
Man,
Rick?
they're so cool. This is so much fun. The Christmas Spectacular for a reason. So speaking of the text, eligible for every person that texts the show, and we'll pick a winner at the end of the show. That first prize: 4 spools of Seagar fluorocarbon, 2 Sea Falcon lures, 5 packages of Gamakatsu hooks, and a $50 gift card to East County Bait and Tackle.
Sweet. Again,
going to the best text of the show, only viewable via the Let's Talk Hookup app, and there has been a ton of great ones that we'll continue to read here in the second hour. Next up, for the callers, an Anza Fish Pro Series knife, plus a $50 gift card to Dana Landing, and a 2022 CCA Bill Varney calendar. The next prize, a $400 shopping spree to AFTCO. As Pete mentioned at the beginning of the show, that's good for whatever you want. You want that Great Horizon fleece. You want to buy a bunch of new clothing. You want to spend it on tackle, components, anything AFTCO. You got $400 coming your way. Another great prize, $200 shopping spree down at Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop. Come down and see me, the boys, and we'll get you totally hooked up on a bunch of great gear.
That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be excited to have the big winner come down. Next up, a Shimano Torium 20 HG reel, the brand new Shimano Torium 20, and a $50 gift certificate to go shopping up at the greatest Pacific Edge. You're going to get a chance to talk to Mark, maybe get your reel, your line dialed in, whatever you want. You got $50 coming your way at Pacific Edge, thanks to Mark. And then last but most certainly not least, a ton of prizes. Next up, a $50 gift card to Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle. You're also going to get a handmade Anza fillet knife, and you're going to get a 1-year membership to fishdope.com. Killer prizes.
Get all that inside dope there from Fish Dope. Yeah, fantastic. Again, 213-432-1090. Now, Mark, this is big. Now, normally you do the Fish Report right now.
Yep.
And, of course, Fish Report, sponsored by Summit Gasoline, discount Everingham Brothers live bait certificates, ice, fishing license, beer, soda, water, snacks, coffee, the best price, the best prices on gas and diesel. It'll blow you. Not only does this place have the best service, it has the best pumps. It's the easiest place to get in and out, easier even than your Chevron station out front.
Is that right?
Way easier.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's nice for you guys.
Yeah. And incredible prices on gas and diesel. And with a minimum 35-gallon purchase, they're going to give you 100 pounds of free ice.
That's perfect for icing down those bluefin tuna.
Are you kidding me?
Incredible.
So anyway, Summit Gasoline, they have everything the angler needs, and they cater to them. We want to thank the guys over at Summit Gasoline for all their support of the fishermen and, of course, the Let's Talk Hookup. So be sure to go by and get filled up. It's easy to find right there at the San Diego Sports Arena. You can exit off the 8, or you can go, whether you're going to Dana Landing or you're going over to Shelter Island to launch your boat. That's the place to go. Summit Gasoline. All right, Mark. So in lieu of a fish report, you've got a hot tip, right?
We do have a hot tip, but I got to, just in honor of tradition, I got to do a quick report. So Danny called in earlier, Danny from Fish Dope, with the information that sport boats, Polaris Supreme specifically, I know Royal Star is out there also, but Polaris Supreme's already got limits of bluefin tuna after this weather. Jeez. They're still biting. Okay, so there's that. And then as far as a squid report, man, there's a lot of squid around.
Yeah.
And as soon as some fish find it, it's going to be game on. So that's this week's fish report. Okay. Abbreviated, I understand.
I like it.
Because we're going somewhere else. Now, guys, get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, because you're going to want to write this phone number down. And I would be dialing this quickly, because once in a while a great opportunity comes along, and I think that this is one for somebody that might be looking for a boat. And, you guys know that quality boats have been very, very hard to find in Southern California. It's like crazy. There's virtually no inventory. But I have my best friend, John Anders, has the coolest, without a doubt, the most well-equipped 20-foot center console. It's a 2015 Edgewater. It's got a 150 Yamaha. And I couldn't begin to read all of this stuff because we got a Christmas show to do.
Yeah,
it's a full page. It's a lot of stuff on this boat. And he's going to shift gears a little bit. He's going to do something different, so he's going to sell this boat. And I'm not happy. John, I know you're listening. I am not happy about this.
That's funny.
But this is a fantastic opportunity. It's just in beautiful condition. When I was thinking on the drive down, it's got that gray hull, and that would match Anthony Shea's fleet of gray boats.
Oh,
and wouldn't that be perfect sitting on the back deck of that
Maybe
new
Anthony
crew
should
boat
buy that,
for a little skiff to run people in and out, to that crew boat for all the stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you don't want to use the submarine,
or the helicopter.
So
we love you, Anthony. You're great.
But let's talk about John Anders for a second. John Anders is the master of all masters when it comes to creativity and putting things on boats that you need that work.
Little custom things. Big custom things.
He's a master of starboard, and I've never seen this boat, never even seen pictures, but I can't even imagine how buffed out this thing is if it's John Anders' boat.
You were always talking about things like there's a dead space here, and he's going to turn that dead space into whatever it might be, storage. This is where the controls go. This is how that just like a master fabricator.
Right, the master, and he's done some amazing stuff not only on my boat but on many, many yachts and boats throughout Southern California.
Yeah, so he takes all of that talent, and it is a lot of talent, guys, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And that little boat, which I've fished on many, many times, and we've had an awful lot of fun, caught all kinds of cool stuff, up to and including swordfish.
Really? On a 20-foot Edgewater?
And it just barely made it through the transom door.
Wow.
For various reasons.
And how does that boat ride?
It rides great. That's the driest 20-footer I've ever been on.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, Edgewater's
a nice boat,
quality stuff, super... it's just a bitchin' little boat.
It's a high-end center console.
It is. So get your pencil ready. Here's John's phone number. It's area code 949-439-0703. That's 949-439-0703. That's John. Call him up. Do not delay this thing. This is the first time it's been mentioned anywhere. It's not going to be advertised. This is it. It will be gone instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's an opportunity. Once again, phone number for John Anders.
949-439-0703.
And if you missed that, you can always call Market Pacific and she'll put you in touch with them.
Yeah, we're going to put some stuff up on the website about it. But, hey, we got a Christmas show to do.
Yeah, let's jump into the phones, Rick.
Well, they are packed solid. Everybody's excited. Let's jump back into them and talk to Daniel calling us from Rancho Cucamonga this morning. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, Daniel.
Hey, I just have a tip for all the anglers out there. Want to let everybody know that if when you get on the boat and your reels have covers, don't take the covers off. You know, you're only fishing with one reel, and leave all the reels on the rack with the covers. That will prevent the salt water to get on them, and you know, to help you on your maintenance.
That is a
Very
really
good.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
Especially when especially on days when there's a lot of wind and a lot of spray. I mean, it just keeps from forcing all that salt. You know, I mean, spray and wind are things, especially if you're on a multi-day trip, that is a great call, Daniel, for sure.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, it's, there's no reason to get on there and take them off. You just leave them strapped. That's a great call.
Yeah, rig it up, get it ready, and then put the cover back on.
Totally.
Right? Good tip, right,
Yeah, I
Daniel?
like it. That's
Merry
a good one,
Christmas.
buddy.
That's a good one for sure.
All right, let's jump back into them. This time we're going to talk to Dave. Dave's calling us from Anza this morning. Hi, Dave. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I got a short song, so here goes. You better go out, you better not wait. Grab a sardine and hook that bait. It's time to go out fishing right now. They're hooving lobster, catching calico bass. This big tuna will kick your ass. It's time to go out fishing right now. You'll catch 'em when you're trolling, sometimes on a bright jig. So hold that rod really tight, 'cause the fish get mighty big. I'm leaving on a sport boat Friday night. I sure hope the fish all bite. It's time to go out fishing right now. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hey,
Good
Merry
one.
Christmas. That was a
That's
good one.
Good one, Dave. All right. Thanks a lot
Yeah,
for the
that
call.
was good.
Appreciate it. Very well done.
All right.
And appreciate the effort.
Well, I think it's time for another great text.
Okay, go
This
for it.
one, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, is from Brian in San Clemente. Question for Mark. I have a 65-gallon Pacific Edge bait tank that was made by Mark. The question is, when the bait is 4 to 6 inch sardines, what is the appropriate bait capacity? Also, and does it vary from sardines and anchovies? And this is a question like if the bait is in good, healthy shape.
Yeah, see, that's the first consideration is what's the bait looking like. And, at this time of year, the bait's in the receivers longer, the water's nice and cool, and the stuff does really well. In the middle of summer, the water's hot, they're rolling through it really quickly, and, it's tougher. So you got to adjust the capacity accordingly. And, the different marinas load bait differently. As, Long Beach scoop is different than a Santa Monica Bay scoop is different than a San Diego scoop. So you it's not like a one-size-fits-all. Mm-hmm. But typically, if you figured 20 gallons a scoop, you'd be fairly safe, and you might adjust accordingly if they're loading heavy or loading light and what the water temperature and the condition of the bait is. It's not a simple answer, unfortunately.
All
Gotcha.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's good. So what they call a 2-scoop tank may not be a 2-scoop tank.
Well, it may not be because, when you got middle of summer bait and hot water, you got to load it really light. Mm-hmm. And this time of year, it's, cooler water and the bait's hardened up because they're not using much of it. You can squeeze it a little tighter.
One of the other important things, too, that a lot of people don't pay attention to is the flow of the water in there, right?
Yeah.
How fast do you want that tank to fill?
Well, in a perfect, oh man, look at who's coming in.
Captain Franco Presti. Wow.
Yeah, so in a perfect world, an average is, 6-7 minutes like that. But the key, you can do it faster as long as the flow of water is not disturbing the bait that's in the tank.
Yeah.
That's the key.
6-7 minutes.
Yeah, but 7 minutes is a good rule.
It's a good rule.
8,
Okay.
bigger tanks, you can go longer.
If it's filling too fast or if it's filling too slow, it may kill the bait.
Especially the too slow.
Okay.
Just on the terms of, it's a Christmas show, we were talking about tips. You said something that I thought was such a good call that we try to do, and that was when, especially in a small tank, like on a private boat, when you first load that scoop of bait, that turning your washdown hose and putting it into the tank just when that bait is getting itself settled in and it's into your tank, that having that extra amount of flow and a little bit of extra oxygen is not it would just be a good thing to help just at the very beginning get that thing settled down.
Yeah, get the scales out, get the slime out, and you can even take a 5-gallon bucket and drop an extra bucket or two in there just to help flush it, when you're first loading that bait, and then let it go from there.
There you go. Captain Frank, what do we deserve this honor here in the world headquarters?
Well, I didn't want you to even announce I was here because I think you probably already know that all the boats out there have limits of bluefin on them.
We heard a rumor, yeah. First one report, Danny said that the Polaris Supreme had limits, and I know Royal Star's out there. Who else is out there?
Adam on the New Loan already called in. He called in at about 5:30 this morning with 30 fish, which is 2 per, but he can get 2 limits because he left before 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
Nice.
And he just called in a few minutes ago, and he's got the other 30.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Wait, how is that possible? It was a hurricane a couple of days ago down here.
It's going to be boring for him because now they have to fish for reds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, darn, right?
That's
yeah,
so
and
cool.
how's the weather out there?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow. That's
And
so cool.
Nice.
There you go. We
And
just need
what size of fish, Frank?
18 to 30 pounds.
Perfect.
Right.
Catchable.
And I know pretty quick some of the guys are going to be looking down there in that 30 block because there's good signs of bluefin down there, and that's the 50 to 150 pound fish, and that's what some of the guys will be doing on the 5-day trips leaving after Christmas.
Yeah, I know Tom Green maybe call in with that all the commercial guys are done by, like, what was it last year, like January 20th?
Yeah, well, it was early. And I was with Ted Dunn last night, and he said they're going to be starting to fly tomorrow.
No kidding.
Wow. So they might have a repeat this year of same thing.
I would say there's a good chance.
Yeah. So what boats are going to be running? The weather's going to be beautiful till Thursday. So if you want to get out, are there going to be opportunities? You can actually jump on a boat at Fisherman's Landing, Point Loma Sport Fishing, Seaforth.
You know, right now I think the only boat that might be online is the Condor that I know of. I don't know if Adam's back online for another trip, and I don't know what's online. I know the Condor is on for after Christmas, but I would guess Adam's going to be on for after Christmas. And meanwhile, other than that, it's just 3 to 5 day trips, and I think almost all of those are full.
This was such a unique year in that guys just had to pull their plug to go do maintenance. I mean, there was never a time this season when there were not bluefin to go catch. And you gotta make that call to do maintenance at some point. You don't want to miss it because the seasons have been, it's almost weird to say it, like, quote unquote, starting so early. They really never finished, but you don't want to not have your maintenance done for the start of the season. But when do you decide to pull that plug? I mean, it's limits for every boat right now.
Well, let's speaking of Seaforth, let's find out what's going on at Seaforth. Marcos is on the line at Seaforth Sport Fishing. Good morning, Marcos. Tell us who's running and what can we catch?
Hey, Marco.
Thank you, Frank. Thanks for coming.
Merry Christmas, Frank.
Well, as you heard there, we tried to end the bluefin season, give those guys a break, but Supreme went back out there and started catching bluefin again. So
That's so cool.
we may be catching bluefin through the end of the year, and starting next month on the new Seaforth there, they're going to be running those extended extended half-day trips going out there, fishing in Mexico. They're going to be taking passports on those, going in there when that fishing's closed locally in January and February. So definitely check that out. But we also have some weekend trips scheduled, day and a half. So I think we got a 2.5 day in there, and those right now are scheduled as Baja Coast trips, probably going to Calnet. But the way things are going, maybe one of those boats is going to be running offshore catching bluefin in January, and like you said, we'll just never actually end the season. We're just going to keep fishing bluefin every month. So definitely check the site out there for the schedule, seaforthlanding.com. We have half-day trips going to be on the Sea-Watch next month, and New Seaforth going to be running those extended half-days fishing out in Mexico. And again, a passport is required for those, so make sure you have all the paperwork you need there. The Pacific End Tribute have day-and-a-half trips on the weekend coming up in January. Again, fishing down Baja Coast there, a passport will be required for those, so definitely a worthwhile investment if you haven't gotten your passport yet. Go ahead and get it.
No doubt about it.
Good call, Marcos.
I mean, we talk about this fairly often there. They're good for 10 years. So it's not like, you're spending $150 and you get to go fishing a few times. That's going to last you for a decade there and, cover all of those trips fishing in Mexican waters that require the passport. So definitely check that out.
And they're just not difficult to get. I mean, it's going to take you a couple hours out of a day, just to get everything done. And then, a few weeks later, it's going to show up in the mail. It's just, there's just no excuse not to have it. There's too much good fishing that you're going to miss out on by not having it.
Yeah, card and get the book and the card, and you can't
exactly
throw
yeah,
that card in your wallet, and that's perfect for
Always
going
have
fishing.
Or throw in your tackle box if you're not going to use it anywhere else. Both of them work for these crossings going on the boats there. You can't use those cards flying, so if the only reason you're getting it is to go fishing, just make sure you always have it with you. You never know. And we've talked about this also. It's like you're going to miss out on a full-day trip because you got your passport instead, but it's going to cover a lot of trips coming up here.
Yep, no doubt. Good call, Marcos.
Well, yeah, that's a good tip. That's almost like a worthy of a prize. That's a good fisherman's
that is
tip,
a good
right?
tip,
Yeah. Thanks, Marcos. Well,
Marcos, you might get an opportunity with such a great contribution to the show to win a $200 shopping spree to the very best tackle store in all of San Diego, Fisherman's Landing Tackle.
How about that?
Or, an equally good tackle store at Dana Landing, also giving away gift shops. So many great San Diego tackle stores, you might have a shot at winning.
I mean, for $200 at Fisherman's Landing, I could pay for parking.
Touche.
Yeah, that was a good score.
Hey, Marcos, if somebody wants to come to Seaforth and get on a boat, how do we do it?
Seaforthlanding.com. We have our full schedule up there for those. We're fishing half days through the end of the year here, so if you got people coming in visiting out of town and they want to go out fishing, definitely take them half day fishing. There's some really good bottom fishing. We didn't even talk about that. Good rock fishing there. Besides a little bit of rain, there have been some great weather, so check that out. We also have whale watching for those of you come in, have people visiting. Maybe some of them don't want to go fishing, but you want to take them out on the water. We got those whale watching trips coming up. The extended half days, the half days, those day and a half next month. You can always give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Give us a call. We're more than happy to help you guys out. You can always come down and visit us in person and take advantage of our great free parking here. Visit the tackle shop there, the number 1.5 tackle shop in San Diego. If you need a last-second present for fishermen there, the gift cards will be good on trips and in tackle shop. And as always, check our socials at Seaforth Landing pretty much everywhere.
That's awesome, Marcos.
Job.
Great job. Very Merry Christmas to you and the whole crew at Seaforth.
And a reminder, Marcos, no show Christmas Day and no show New Year's Day. So the next time we're going to talk to you will be Saturday, January 7th, I believe, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, and hopefully I'll have a good report from those extended half days there fishing down in Mexico.
That's gonna be cool. Thanks,
right.
Marcos. Merry Christmas,
Marcos.
buddy.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Merry Christmas to you guys, too.
That's going to wrap up our Catch Report today. Sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Check out their holiday specials. The Rub Special, which is awesome. You get 3 of those Fish Pros rubs for $20. And you can get 10 of them for just $60. They make a great gift for coworkers, perfect stocking stuffers, and for your family. And check out their famous party platter. It's $55 and includes the killer smoked fish, tuna jerky, applewood smoked cheeses. You choose from a variety of different flavors. It's a really, really cool platter. It's a sure hit for your holiday greeting parties. Check them out in Old Town on Taylor Street, or call for details at fishermansprocessing.com. And just another plug for that holiday platter. If you're going to one of those parties, it's $55. Everything is done. It's all vacuum packed. All you need to do is have a knife, cut up the fish and the cheese into some cubes and put it on a platter, and you look like an all-star having
People
done
will be raving
nothing.
about it.
It's so killer. Everybody puts so much time and effort into all their homemade goodies for these holiday platters, and you can literally open up some bags, cut them into cubes, and you're the star of the show for $55. It's such a killer deal.
It's a killer deal, yes. Nice. Fishermansprocessing.com. Check it out for sure. Let's go ahead and jump back into it, Rick.
Derek in Lake Elsinore is hanging in there with us this morning. Good morning, Derek. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I got a quick story. My grandfather and I used to fish San Diego Bay probably back in the late 60s, and we used to tie up on the back of the bait barge. And one morning, we used to catch fish, and we'd throw them up, the shorts we'd throw up on the bait barge, and there was always 4 or 5 pelicans hanging out. And one morning, I caught a sculpin, and my grandfather took it off my hook and kind of giggled and threw it up on the bait barge, and a couple pelicans flew over, and they kind of turned away, and one old pelican kind of waddles over and looked at it, picked it up, carried it over to the edge of the bait barge and dropped it in the water. My grandfather just looked at me and he goes, so you can't fool them all.
Yeah. Well, and it's great memories fishing with your grandpa, right?
That's cool, Derek.
All right, Derek.
Appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate that very much.
All right. How about next up, we talk to John. John's calling us from Huntington Beach. Good morning, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning. Merry Christmas, everyone. My this past year's been kind of a tough one for me. My message to everybody today is that people are what's important. And I had a case of COVID, but my wife and her skills kept me out of the hospital, and doctors and everything along with that. And then I recently had a car accident, but everybody was fine. The cars were in not so good shape, but it's the people that are important. The people are fine, and so I just wanted to pass the word to everyone that hold the ones that you love close. Reach out to your friends that you haven't talked to in a while and tell them how you feel about them. And, of course, go fishing. Merry
holiday
Christmas,
message, buddy. Appreciate it.
Very good holiday
Good
message.
call, John. You take care,
All right.
buddy.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, and glad everything worked out for you. Appreciate that very much. Hey, interesting question here from Alex from San Carlos. So when it comes to bluefin 80 to 150 pound size, what's more important, the range of the drag on the reel or the line capacity of the reel?
I thought that was a great one.
Thought that's a good question because everybody's always talking, well, our reel will get like 800 pounds of drag
Exactly.
or whatever, right?
Okay, so it's the
what's
range
more
of the
important
drag?
on bigger fish, on bigger tuna, the range of the drag on the reel or the line capacity of the reel?
Well, kind of both. But what you were saying about everybody commenting about the reels manufacturers' claims about how much drag they can get on there, well, that only matters to a point. Because in reality, most people can't pull nearly hard enough to use what the reels can do. So assuming, you're fishing that good grade bluefin and you've got something like say a Talica 20 loaded with 80-pound max quattro, you got plenty of line and you've got plenty of drag capacity.
Okay.
I mean, you got more drag than most people are going to be able to use, and you'll have, unless you hook one of those really big ones that really takes off, which we occasionally get, you're going to have plenty of line. So it's a combination of both. But for the really big ones, I'd almost say the line capacity is the bigger issue,
critical,
because you got plenty of drag on almost every reel made nowadays.
Yeah.
Just going back, like you said, the machismo thing. You hear so many people talk about, I fish 35 pounds drag, I fish 40 pounds drag. You mentioned something earlier that's like a good thing, it's winter time and you're farting around in the garage. A good thing that you had talked about was, tie 50 pound off to your bumper and, see how hard you can pull on it. Another good thing to do would be to grab your big reel and push that drag lever up there on a spring scale, a drag scale that you can pull against, and it marks how much pressure you did, and put 20 pounds of drag pressure and see how heavy that really is, and do two things. One, pull your rod until that drag is slipping off at 20 pounds of pressure to see how much holding on to 20 pounds really is, and then
do it for a few minutes.
That was the next part.
Yep.
Then set a stopwatch and hold that for 2 minutes.
And then
put the max drag on that you're about to slip at 20 pounds and just hold that rod for 2 minutes and see what it's like to hold on to 20 pounds of pressure, and then 30. And then all the people that are claiming, I fish 50 pounds of drag, put 50 pounds of drag and see if you can pull it off, and then hang on to it for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah. On a rocking boat with people going over and under, and you got to move around because your fish is moving.
It's just a great lesson in knowing how much pressure is on the reel, and it's great at the lower end too, because when you're holding on to something for 2 minutes and you think like, okay, this is this is fine, this is where it should be, you might very well look down and realize you only got 6 or 8 pounds of pressure, and then realize like, oh, hey, I definitely can bump this up. Maybe I wasn't fishing enough. I think it's a good lesson just to, while it's the winter time and there's nothing going on, it's a good way to realize how much pressure there really is on something.
Because you can pull hard on 60, 80 pound line, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Basically, like Mark said before, you can just about pull as hard as you physically can on 60 and probably not make much of a difference between whatever size line you were on.
Can make a difference.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
That doesn't mean that the abrasion resistance isn't the same.
The other factors. Yeah,
that's the other factor.
Spiking and drag pressure and fish moving and color and all those things. I mean, there is a reason to fish heavier line, but in terms of you hanging onto it and pulling any harder, probably not a lot of difference between 60 and 100.
Speaking of drag pressure, tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup, you want to tune in because we have Cal and Eric Sheets on the show tomorrow morning, and they'll have a lot of input when it comes to drag pressure on your reel. They fish those big bluefin back east, Talk about drag pressure.
That's a different world.
That's a different deal.
I love Cal telling the story of Eric, like with that fish, like lifting him up off of his heels, like where he's just standing on the balls of his feet pulling on a big giant one. Like those guys
that'll be a good show.
They are the wizards. No
tomorrow
doubt.
morning, 7 to 9 a.m. It'll be our last show of 2021 tomorrow morning on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including more of your phone calls and text. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090.
This is Brandon Hayward with Bite Sport Fishing, here to talk about Parker Boats and the crew at West Coast Marine. In the spring of 2013, I bought my first Parker. When it came time to rebrand from one-man charters to Bite Sport Fishing and add to my fleet and start running out of Davies Locker, Newport Beach, and Fisherman's Landing this summer season, I chose a Parker. When clients ask why I chose Parker, I always say, I could have had any boat, but my 2320 is perfect for my white sea bass, offshore, and lobster program. Almost 6,000 hours on my 2320 Pilot House over the past 6 seasons has shown me that Parker is the ultimate West Coast charter boat. It's what customers expect. These stout workhorses offer everything anglers need, as in a stable platform with huge deck space for our West Coast style of live bait fishing. Parker's a big reason why I run more charters than any other small boat operation in Southern California. I like my 2320 so much that I bought another one. And while you never know what's going to happen with fishing, I know it won't be my last Parker I buy from West Coast Marine. If fishing isn't something you do but who you are, then Parker's for you, be it a one-day charter or a lifetime of ownership. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to go see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine. Check out their inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
For over 30 years, Sea Falcon has been manufacturing the finest handmade jigs and plugs, utilizing superior components and hand-painted finishes. Sea Falcon lures are made in Japan and are based on hand-carved originals, utilizing the highest level of quality and attention to detail. Gamakatsu's premium assist hooks are ideal to pair with Sea Falcon lures, providing you with one of the highest quality lure combinations on the market. When you're shopping for premium jigs and plugs to chase the fish of a lifetime, look no further than Sea Falcon.
Let's talk candidly about long-range fishing. This is Captain Frank DePresti of the Royal Polaris and the Shogun. Nowhere on Earth will you find a fleet of long-range boats like we have in San Diego. We are fortunate to have several top-notch operations to take you to the most productive fishing grounds in the world. We all offer good food, comfortable staterooms, huge bait capacity, and top-of-the-line fish-finding electronics. So why would you choose the Royal Polaris or the Shogun for your next long-range trip? What sets us apart from the rest? It's pretty simple. The boats, the crew, and the service. From the moment you arrive at Fisherman's Landing, the service begins. We help you load your gear and do everything possible to get beginners or seasoned veterans ready to catch fish. When it's time to fish, the Royal Polaris and the Shogun have the edge there too, delivering the two best fishing platforms in the fleet. But don't take my word for it. Come fishing with us. If you want the best, it's Royal Polaris and the Shogun. For more information, call 619-226-8030 or on the web at royalpolarissportfishing.com or shogunsportfishing.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time on the Christmas Spectacular. Still packed phone calls, but still an opportunity for you to get through. If you want to give us a call this morning, it's 213-432-1090 or send us one of those great texts via the Let's Talk Hookup app.
All right, let's jump back on the phones.
Phones are packed up, man. This time we're going to talk to Mark calling us from Santee this morning. Mark, good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, Mark.
Good morning, guys. Merry Christmas. I just wanted to remind everybody on Christmas Day when they're opening presents or eating their meals. It's a little poem. Remember the service members who served before. Remember the service members who are no more. Remember the service members who serve today. Remember them all on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys.
I dig that one, man. That was rad.
Yeah,
That's
good
job, worthy.
Mark.
Good job.
Cool.
Very good.
Like it.
All right, thanks. Merry Christmas to you.
That's
Nice
cool.
word to always think about our service members.
Damn right.
Sure.
That was cool. All right, let's jump back into these jam-packed phones. We're going to talk to Mike calling us from San Carlos this morning. Good morning, Mike. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, guys. This is Mike, your expert novice. So, talking about drag, my friend Ralph with a 21-foot trophy with an undercabin, and I and his son, 14 years old, who I think his name was, hey, get me a beer. So we set up off Point Loma with 4 big poles and 3 small ones just to catch bottom fish. And 1, 2, 3, they all bust off. I know it's a shark. So Ralph and his son went in the undercabin, and they were taking a little nap, and the last pole went off. And I thought, geez, I've lost the last 3. I ought to call him. So I got him out of there, and it's like he was using absolutely like 20-pound drag on a 85-pound shark, and little by little, we caught the shark, and kind of taught me like too much drag might be too much drag.
Hey, Mike, thanks.
Yeah. What chapter are we on?
Yeah.
On the story?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's our first buzz.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the
Appreciate
phone
the call.
call.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Well, how about we jump back?
Hey, I want to read
great,
this
yeah.
text from Bart.
Please.
Bart Hall, my bucket list, New Zealand, and the stream in the morning, and a giant trout, and jump on board and go saltwater fishing inshore and in the afternoon.
Say that one more time. We didn't.
So Bart Hall wants to go to New Zealand. That's his
for the bucket list trip.
Yeah, catch a giant trout in the morning and then jump on a boat and fish inshore saltwater. Now, the reason I want to read that, not only because Bart's our friend, but also I, fortunately, thanks to our great late friend Jack Nielsen, had the opportunity to do that in New Zealand. I'm trying to think of it. The picture's right over there, but
picture.
I went with Tom Ward from the Longfin, and it was
Del,
kind of a
right?
Del. Well, no, Del
it
had
was
passed. It was a
like
Del
a memory
Marsh
of
memory
Del.
of
That's right.
memory
That's right.
trip, because Del did it many
That's
times
right.
with Jack, and it's one of the great memories of my life. We fished that White Island, the Smoky Island, and caught giant yellowtail, and then we fished trout on some lakes there. And Bart, you're absolutely right. If you can do New Zealand and do the yellowtail thing and the trout thing in New Zealand, it is absolutely fantastic. And I want to thank my dear friend Jack Nielsen and his memory. I mean, we lost him just a little less than a year ago. He died past Christmas Eve last year, and man, I miss that guy.
No
for
doubt.
sure, for sure.
It
So
hits home for sure.
yeah, for sure. So I'm always grateful for his the opportunity he gave me, and be able to hang out with Tom Ward too and such like that. That's a good one.
That's
for
a
sure.
great one, buddy. Yeah,
for
very
sure.
good.
All right, let's go back into it, Rick.
You got it. We're going to jump right back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to Jim, calling us from San Diego. Good morning, Jim. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Rick, and happy holidays to everyone. I just wanted to remind everybody, with these passports, you do not have to have, you can have an expired passport and use that as your paperwork. In other words, you don't have to have a birth certificate or anything to redo it. My passport expired 5 years ago, and I went in there and they took it and they said, we'll go off of this. It's fine. So that's kind of a little, and something going on that. So, but I got the card and the passport book, so I've got them both. But
good tip.
Good call,
you
Jim.
do not have. Yeah, when
So
you
what you're
go
saying
in
is
with
if
your
somebody out there
passport, you
is-
could.
Yeah, if somebody's worried that I don't know where my birth certificate is
Yeah.
at, I'm sure you're just saying in terms of a renewal, you didn't need to worry about it. You just took your old passport in and away you went.
Yeah.
Good
Right.
call.
Yeah, but give it time, because they're so backed up because of COVID and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It takes, unless you use an expedite service.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And if you live in San Diego, or are close to San Diego or in Los Angeles, those are two places that have passport issuing agencies in the town.
like government passport issuing.
Yeah,
agencies.
exactly. That
You know firsthand, right?
I do. I had to get a very quick turnaround passport and was able to get it done. I mean, you got to file it's only by appointment. There are no walk-ups, but you do that, and you can get it done very, very fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Merry Christmas to you.
All right, let's jump back into the phones. Talk to Eric, calling us from Valley Center this morning. Good morning, Eric. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's and all that good stuff. And I was just wondering, when I'm making squid, how do I catch them without killing them?
Well, you talk about like on a private boat?
Yes.
Yeah, well, usually with your light over the side and a squid coming around, in a perfect world, you're going to go down with either a bigger net or an actual squid crowder, and that mostly doesn't kill them. You just scoop them out of the net or the crowder and load them up in the tank and be alert that because it's free.
I guess lights help?
What's that?
Do lights help? If you're lit up real bright, they come up to your boat.
That's usually what it takes to get them around. Squid catching, it's like any other kind of fishing. You got to have all the proper gear you got to be well equipped, and you got to be out in the right place at the right time. It's mostly all nighttime.
So let me ask you this, Mark. A lot of times when you're on the squid grounds, there's other boats all making squid. Do the guys that have the better lights get the better chance of catching squid,
or is it the proximity to where they're nested up? Like, what's the or we keep quizzing you for what's better, and I know that it's unfair, but are you better to be on the alpha position, or are you better to be the alpha light source?
Yeah, I'll take alpha, right on the nest, and in a perfect world, you find a little nest by yourself with no competition,
right.
And then it's usually game on. You're done really quickly. But right now, with the way the world is, we compete with the the commercial boats, the light boats, and guys that have high tech lighting. So you have to have some decent lights if you're going to be around other boats. If you're by yourself, you can get by with marginal stuff. If you got some competition, then you got to have some really good gear. We use a 400 watt of a special bulb. There's different kinds of bulbs, even though they're all 400 watt, metal halide in underwater light. And it just makes things happen when things normally don't. So,
as a quick sidebar to kind of his question, what's the best way to keep squid alive for the longest time? You always hear people talk about that. If you're going to try and do it for multiple days, you're out for a 2-day trip on your skiff, and that squid is spawned out or is in the process of it. Like, what's the best way to keep it alive in your tank?
Yeah, see, when we're out there fishing squid, you might be fishing bait that just moved in, and that's going to be red and slimy. And when you go to pick one up, he reaches around, grabs you, squirts ink on you, tries to bite you. That's perfect bait, and that'll live in a tank a couple, 3 days sometimes, maybe even a little bit more. If you're catching bait that's got kind of that white, limp, soggy look to it, that's bait that's already spawned, and it is going to die quickly. So the best thing to do there, if you're trying to keep some bait for a day or two and you only got one opportunity to catch it, is put some in the tank for live and then bag it and ice it down real well or freeze it so that it's still got some measure of color and freshness to it.
Color's key.
Yeah.
So almost like the best tip to keeping it alive is realizing that you're not going to. So preserve it as the best fresh dead you possibly can.
Boy, you got away with words, dude. You just say things so nice. Yeah. Absolutely. That's exactly the.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Totally.
So when you catch it, when you're not able to crowd it, it's kind of thin, and you can only catch it with the jig. And to point, that's not going to kill the squid, right?
No.
No. So it's just a little slower way to catch it.
It is definitely a little slower, and like right now it's full moon, so if you're going to go make some bait, you got a little window as the sun's going down just before the moon comes up when it's dark, and a lot of times you'll get a good float right then. But once that moon gets up, I've had some amazing floats with the moon bright as bright can be, but generally speaking, that's when it's more tough.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And that's when those snaggers, the bait might be around, but a lot of times it's not going to float.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have some really good lights. So that's when those snaggers are really helpful. And, we've caught many a tank of bait just snagging when it won't come up to where we can get it with a crowder.
Yeah.
I've got one last question, only because I'm fascinated by it. And being a San Diego guy, I just don't have a lot of squid experience. Some, but not nearly like that. But I always remember as a kid fishing Catalina, hearing people and sometimes seeing people put at that time was a 12-inch bass or now a 14-inch bass in the tank. What was the theory behind that, and does it do any good?
The theory is that the fish swimming around in there dissuades them from actually laying eggs in the tank, and they die shortly thereafter. Personally, I think their cycle kind of trumps the bass swimming around in there, and if they're going to spawn, they're going to spawn.
Got it.
And you got to be really careful doing that because you don't want to have a 12-inch bass swimming around your tank nowadays.
I just meant that it was legal back then.
Yeah,
now
it used to be.
Now it would be a 14. But the theory behind it was they won't spawn, and if they don't spawn, then they don't die. Okay,
that's a theory.
That's just the theory.
It's not.
I've never
fact.
bought into it that
Got
much.
it.
No.
All right.
Cool.
Hey, Jeff in Costa Mesa has a good question here. Do you consume yellowtail that have been slightly mangled by a sea lion? I've always wondered that.
Well, yeah. Realistically, if he bites the tail off, you got a whole lot of nice backstrap up toward the other end there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've definitely eaten some sea bass that have been shoot
Slightly
on a little.
mangled.
Hell yeah.
Yes, cut around
cut
it.
around
Just
where
cut
he
around
bit.
it, sure.
Cut wide, and you're the rest of it.
You're
good.
okay. All right, very good. All right, let's jump back on the phones. Rick.
You got it. How about this time we talk to Brian calling from Ventura this morning? Hey, Brian, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, how you doing? And happy holidays to everybody. I had a question for Mark. Hey, how's it going? I was going to ask Mark, the sea bass guru, if he's got any predictions for 2022 as far as the sea bass bite's going to go on. I know it's just his educated prediction, but I'd like to hear it.
Well, I absolutely guarantee you'll catch more sea bass if you fish. That's the first thing that's really important. A lot of guys just, that fish kind of intimidates them and they prefer to talk about it more than actually going for it. But you got to fish for them, and you got to fish for them intentionally. They're not something that you're going to catch a lot of sporadically, incidentally. You do once in a while, but, realistically, you got to be intentional. So I think, to answer your question, this year feels good. The water's a little cooler. We definitely got a lot of squid around in all the places it needs to be to get things going.
And time of the year, right?
Yeah, time of the year. It feels good. Last year there was some fish around, but the coastal thing, especially in terms of the big ones, was kind of marginal at best. There just wasn't much around. And hopefully that changes. That fish moves around a lot. They don't know an awful lot about the migration patterns, although they're learning. So it'll be interesting to see where and if they show up and what grade shows up.
When does Mark Wisch start to fish sea bass?
Well, in a lot of years, we would start on January 1st trying to get the first fish of the year.
Yeah.
I've got some first fish flags from the Babel Angling Club when I used to belong years ago. And I never did get one on the 1st. I got one on the 15th one time of January. But, yeah, a lot of times if the weather's decent, we always try to fish January 1st just to start the new year off right and get a shot at that first one of the year.
And then a lot of times you can get that tanker grade big yellow too on the squid grounds, right?
Yeah. A lot of times those early fish, everybody thinks it's always on the bait grounds, and generally it is. But we've caught fish really shallow at Catalina up, on shallow water beaches.
No kidding.
In the wintertime also. So it's not only just a squid grounds thing.
Very good. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Rick's got a good text.
Yeah, I do. I really liked this one. So this was from Larry. Says, are sand bass and albacore in the same cycle? It seems like when we had really good sand bass fishing, we had good albacore fishing and vice versa.
Oh, man, that's a technical question. And, they might be because there's some combination of events that both of those fish like, anchovies for one. But right now, we've got virtually nothing in terms of sand bass. Those poor fish have just been, in my opinion, absolutely decimated because of some very poor regulations. And, they had a 10-fish limit of 12-inch fish, and those guys would just sit on them and just murder them by the millions. Yeah. And it was just, everybody knew. Every spawning population that's targeted heavily all over the world collapses.
Right.
So there's nothing, in my mind, unusual about that.
That was not a surprise.
That was not a surprise to me, for sure.
Yeah.
And the albacore is a whole different deal. We don't have them around there. I mean, we got a whole generation of kids that don't even know what the heck an albacore is.
Yeah.
But there's no shortage of albacore.
No.
That's just a water pattern thing.
It's a pattern.
And, maybe it is with the sand bass. But, see, the albacore, we know there's a lot of them because they're up north. There's this tonnage up north where the water is more to their liking. And I don't know anywhere that has the volume of sand bass. It's not like they've moved. Yeah, I just don't think they're here.
It just needs to be rebuilt.
That's good insight.
And hopefully they do.
For sure. Hey, John in Mira Mesa had a surf fishing tip for the guys who preserve sand crabs. Buy a crab and go, which is Bill Varney's deal for surffishtackle.com, and then save your extra sand crabs and freeze them for later. Frozen thawed turns into pseudo soft shells, and they work.
Yeah.
You ever heard that?
Yeah, they do get soggy.
Yeah.
They get old. I did the same thing with red crabs, but they get really soft.
Oh yeah. But that's a good tip for for like early season when sand crabs are tough to catch, and for
that's
sure.
Cool. All right. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot of Let's Talk Hookup, including a lot of big winners and more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the mightier 1090.
If you're looking for a high-quality cocktail that's also easy to enjoy on your next fishing trip, check out Cutwater Spirits' lineup of canned cocktails. Cutwater's master distiller and co-founder, Yusuf Cherney, is a hardcore fisherman. In fact, he developed Cutwater with all his favorite adventures in mind. Yusuf takes Cutwater's award-winning spirits, uses them to make real cocktails, and then puts them into cans so you can take them anywhere. It's like they were made for fishing because they were actually made for fishing. Check out their popular canned margarita made with real tequila, the zesty vodka mule, or the spicy Bloody Mary, which has some serious bite. They also make super refreshing vodka sodas in grapefruit, lime, and cucumber flavors. Just crack the can and enjoy a bar-quality cocktail even when there's no bar in sight. Back at the dock or at your evening anchorage in Catalina, Cutwater cocktails are exactly what you need for your next fishing trip. You can check out all 18 of Cutwater's canned cocktails at cutwaterspirits.com and then look for them at your local liquor store. Then go ahead and set your cocktail free. Please enjoy responsibly.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Hey, this is Rosie from Cedros Sport Fishing. Cedros Island is considered the yellowtail and calico bass fishing capital in the world, and nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. We are committed to providing first-class service to our guests and an unforgettable fishing experience. We have made a good thing even better. We are the only lodge to offer all of our guests a direct flight departing to the CBX in San Diego. Leave home in the morning and fish in the afternoon. We have a beautiful waterfront lodge and first-class meals and service. What are you waiting for? Call me at 619-772-7570 or check out cedrosportfishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
It's time for the Power Pro 30-second seminar. I like catching big fish, and I like smaller reels, too. How do I make sure that I have the capacity to land the big one? I fill my reels with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro, so you get more line on that small reel. Power Pro has a complete series of highly effective lines, including the brand new Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore, with different colors every 100 feet. Perfect for flatfall fishing. Want to learn more? Check powerpro.com. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup here, having a great time this morning, and man, what a fun show. This is so much fun, and man, just a great job to everybody for all of the great contributions to the show.
Yeah, really great, and thank you for everybody trying to get through, and thanks, big thanks to everybody at Sports Grid and Christian especially for manning those crazy phones.
This was awesome.
Lots of calls.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for this?
Break the phones, right?
All right, so it's time for all the big winners. We're going to start off with the text. This was probably the toughest to decide because there were some fantastic texts today. But the big winner on the 4 spools of Seaguar fluorocarbon, 2 Sea Falcon lures, 5 packs of Gamakatsu, a $50 gift card to East County Bait and Tackle is going to Mike in Gardena. A great text, lots of fun, added a lot to the show. Next up, the Anza Fish Pro Series knife plus a $50 gift card to Dana Landing 2022 CCA Bill Varney calendar. That's going to Dave and Anza. The $200 gift card to Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop. That's going to Mark in Santee. The Shimano Torium 20 reel and a $50 gift card to Pacific Edge Bait and Tackle. Congratulations to Daniel in Rancho Cucamonga. The $50 gift card to Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle and Handmade Anza Filet Knife and a 1-year membership to fishdope.com is Steve in Lucadia. And last but certainly not least, a $400 shopping spree to AFTCO. Huge congratulations, Dave in Poway. Dave, great job. That was an awesome show and lots of fun from everybody's creativity and great tips.
Yeah, great. And thank you so much to everybody for your contributions. It's always a different show and a fun show. And today was really fun because we had some great fishing information. We had some fun contributions and some really good stuff. So thank you, Mark Wisch, again for coming down and
fastest 2 hours in radio.
Oh boy, yeah. And it was really a fun show. And of course, again, if you want an amazing boat, talk to you about. If you want to, John Anders, give John Anders' phone number again.
Yeah, John's number is area code 949-439-0703 for the 20-foot Edgewater.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful center console boat.
Yeah, check that out. And then, of course, somebody wants the best bait tanks in the world. And, of course, everything. You've got full tackle store.
Yeah.
The one thing that we don't talk about a lot, that Mark makes custom stuffs for existing bait tanks, too, like covers and that kind of stuff, right?
That, we do occasionally. Right now, honestly, we are so busy with our own stuff and just trying to get orders out. I don't take too much outside stuff, but we do a little bit,
Yeah.
But then that's where John comes in. See, he builds all this custom stuff.
Yeah. And then the coolest thing is your website, right?
PacificEdgeTackle.com.
That has amazing pictures of the bait tanks, all the different accessories you can get on, right?
Speaking of amazing pictures.
Yeah.
If I can get to this.
Yeah. But anyway, and then of course all the good tips. Look at that. That's a beautiful tank with a glass in it and everything like that. Yeah, no, there's amazing stuff at PacificEdgeTackle.com. And if you're looking for a bait tank, that's the place to look. For sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's
31
really,
sizes.
31 different sizes.
Just got a brand new molder about 2-3 months ago. That 60 flatback came out beautiful.
60 flatback. So the flatback again is it doesn't, you don't compromise on quality. It's more so just space, right?
Yeah, like the first two went on the swim step of this 85 footer. The next two matched pair are going on a 58 Viking on the East Coast, cut down to go against either side of the cockpit.
Wow.
So, yeah. And we're probably going to build one for a guy in Istanbul, Turkey.
No kidding.
That's wild.
To catch bluefin tuna, whole bait for live squid for bluefin tuna.
Istanbul.
In the Aegean Sea.
So you literally get orders from all over the world.
World famous.
Yeah, world famous. Because you know why? Because they're the best, right? Yeah. Well, great, Mark. Thank you. Now, again, a programming note. Don't forget, tomorrow will be our last show of 2021. There'll be no show Christmas Day. There'll be no show on the day after Christmas, Sunday the 26th, and there'll be no show on New Year's Day. But we will be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Cal and Eric Sheets. You want to talk drag pressure? Those guys have
That's the one to talk to. No
Cal's
doubt.
Custom 2-Speeds. That's going to be 7 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thanks again to Christian for all he did on the phones this morning. Busy time. And thanks to Adam for all he does on the app and all the texting and all that stuff. And again, a big Merry Christmas and thank you very much to everybody that contributed to our 2021 version of our Christmas Spectacular. Mark,
this was spectacular.
It was spectacular.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
it was
thanks very much.
fantastic.
And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. right back here on the Mightier 1090 and the Let's Talk About That.